Hey everyone, it's the Comic Fan Man here, coming at you with a quick little update video. So I just found out today that apparently McFarlane Toys doesn't have the DC license anymore to produce their figures. Apparently Mattel now has the rights to produce the DC figures. This was a real shock to me, because McFarlane Toys, I mean, since they got the DC license, for sure nobody could say, like, they haven't been producing. Sure, not every figure has been a winner, but man, they've been producing like crazy since they got the DC line. Like, they've done everything, including obscure figures like Captain Carrot over here. He was definitely one of my favorite figures of the year this year. And then this is the body of the Fight the Frozen Batman body, which I took the Vicron head and turned him into my own Conan figure, which came out really well. And of course, this is the medieval Spawn from the Kickstarter. McFarlane Toys, really for all the complaints, I mean, they really do an amazing amount of work at McFarlane Toys. And a lot of the sculpts are really fantastic. I mean, the medieval Spawn Kickstarter here, the only difference between him and the other figures is that all the paint work and finishes that they did on this, which McFarlane Toys really doesn't do much of, especially on their DC line. They rely mostly on the bright colors for the finishes, which is fine, for the most part. Now, I personally myself am not a DC or even a Marvel's like superhero collector. Most of the stuff that I buy or collect is more in the sword and sorcery fantasy genre. Basically anything that can fit into the world of like Motu or Conan the Barbarian. That's kind of like what I like to stick to. As of recently, I did get some G.I. Joes, but that's not really my thing. I like mostly like sword and sorcery stuff. But there are some sword and sorcery like Marvel and DC figures like Thor. This Fight the Frozen Batman that McFarlane did was a really nice reimagining of like a prehistoric style Batman. So it was, I was caught completely by surprise by this. I will say a real knock on McFarlane's DC line has been the fact that like some of the designs have been really hit and miss. Like for me personally, outside of the Christopher Reeve and Henry Cavill Superman, I still don't really feel like we got a good Superman from McFarlane. And his Wonder Woman figures, a lot of them were really very cool. So he did a nice job with Wonder Woman. And of course, he always knocks it out of the box with Batman. So most of his Batman figures are really great, but again, I don't really buy those unless there's something unique about them. I mean, for me, I think the best DC figure that I have from McFarlane Toys has to be this Captain Carrot figure, because he's so unique and he's sculpted really well. His colors are very bright. So that's really, for me, the most unique DC figure that he's created. From the like obscure figures of DC. In any case, I do hope that, okay, if McFarlane isn't going to be doing the DC line and it's Mattel, I do hope that Mattel knocks it out the park. I hope they do a really great job. And maybe this will free up McFarlane to do more like more video game properties, more anime properties, and more sword and sorcery fantasy stuff. Because I remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, when he was doing all this dark fantasy stuff, it was really, really amazing. And that was kind of where this like Medieval Spawn 3 came out of. And the Medieval Spawn 2, he's back there somewhere. There he is. That's kind of where those figures came from. So hopefully McFarlane Toys, excuse me, hopefully McFarlane Toys can get back to that. Because I would love to see that and add that to my my sword and sorcery collection. All right, so yeah, again, it was a big surprise to me. You know, and I know McFarlane Toys have been hit and miss, but you know, for the most part, hey man, nobody can complain about their production, because they have pumped it out. They've done an amazing job with the DC license, and I hope Mattel can you know, mimic that. I hope that they can actually produce just as much as McFarlane Toys did, with just as good quality. Because a lot of the DC line, especially on their collector side, they use this classics style buck for their figures. And you know, the articulation now on these are very limited compared to what McFarlane Toys has produced. So hopefully, since they're taking it over, that you know, they can update their figures, their articulation, and make more unique sculpts. Because that was the other thing that McFarlane did. The McFarlane Toy production crew, they did not like shy away from using new bucks or like using new designs. Like this Fight the Frozen Batman and Captain Carrot design is really, really cool. And it's very different from like the Superman and Batman bodies that I've seen. And then his movie figures. That's one thing. I really hope that McFarlane actually can still hold on to like the movie licenses. Because his movie figures for DC are amazing. Like all of them, except for that last Wonder Woman from the BVS Wonder Woman. That was terrible. But all the other like movie figures that he's done based on DC, they all came out fantastic. So I hope if Mattel's gonna do that, I hope they can keep up with that kind of quality for the movie figures, because those are really fantastic. All right, well, that's my short little news clip video here about Mattel taking over the DC license again. And again, I hope they produce really good stuff. I hope it goes really, really well for them. And I also hope that McFarlane Toys will be able to secure other licenses. I know that I think they're trying to. They've got something going on with Marvel, because they do have statue figures of Marvel heroes. So I know they got something going on with Marvel. So maybe they're trying to take over the Marvel Legends line. But we'll just have to wait and see what McFarlane Toys does next. But even if they don't, I hope that they focus on these kind of fantasy aesthetics, because I would love to see that. I would love to see like McFarlane Toys bring back the dark fantasy stuff. You know, maybe create their own version of like Masters of the Universe style line. I think that would be fantastic. All right. I hope you enjoyed this short little news clip, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye now.